Well, so many people died 10 years ago, so many lives were shattered, so many people left physically and emotionally scarred, and other people had their lives changed in totally unexpected ways. Reporter Danny Isdale is with just such a person. Danny.
Well, thank you, Hugh. Claire Marsh joins us now on the program tonight, and her story is an inspiring one. Claire, can you tell us how your life changed that night?
Well, it changed dramatically. David and I both got involved when we came back from the horrendous events. Came back and decided that we ought to do something about the equipment, or the lack of equipment at hospitals all over Bali, not just Sangla. You saw the pictures so that you knew that the equipment wasn't too flash.
Now, you spent time in Sangla Hospital in the immediate aftermath, didn't you, and helped who could. Talk us through that.
Well, when the last Westerner went on Monday, which is about 11:30, injured Westerner, then we decided we'd better go back to the hospital and see what had happened to all the Indonesians that we'd displaced. You know, we just took over the hospital. So we went to see what we could do, and we worked there for a few days until they decided that they'd had enough of us and kicked us out. So, but you had to go back. You had to go back and do something for the people that live here. And that was an interesting thing. Very grateful individuals, the Balinese.
There were 328 victims brought into the hospital that night. You were there. It must have been awful.
It was dreadful. I don't think I've ever seen... Well, in fact, of course I haven't. I've never seen so much blood in all my life. I've never seen such chaos. Everything was chaotic. There was people moving, you know, in distressed states all over the place. It was just terrible. And yeah, it's indescribable. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can see it in my head, but I can't say it in words how bad it was.
You're helping now. You're doing something to help. Tell us about the Marsh Foundation.
Marsh Foundation we set up almost immediately after we got back, and eventually we decided we didn't have enough money or enough effort. God, what's the word I'm looking for? Energy to continue, and a whole bunch of people came together and said, right, we're going to help. And now we've sent 40-foot containers of medical equipment to Indonesia, Bali, well, of course Bali's Indonesia, Vietnam, Chile, after their earthquake. We're starting on the Philippines, and one of our containers just arrived in Tonga. So, you know, from that point of view, it's terrific. And if you've got any equipment, we'd love it. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. That's just one story of how it's changed someone's life and helped so many more people, Hugh.
Danny, thank you. Great lady, great story. And I'll be back a little later on the programme with Peter Hughes, a man who very nearly didn't survive the Bali bombings.